Thunder in the spirit of Crazy Horse here. Let's talk about energy, because it's all about energy. And it's not about how much we dig and philosophically reflect on things, and that's all good. It's all good to dig deep and to search and to gain wisdom and knowledge. All that stuff's good, and it's part of the process, but when you boil it right down to the nitty-gritty, it's all about energy. It's all about what the Hindus call Shiva, Shakti, what the Taoists call Yin and Yang. And we all have that within us. We all have the Yin and Yang within us, and it's also outside of us. There isn't any place we can go where it isn't happening. Yin and Yang. The fish eating its tail, the circular energy of life, the dynamic energy of life, the chaotic energy of life. And I'm talking about yin and yang and dark and light, and here you're going to see the video here go dark and then light again. I have a feeling, because it's already starting. But it's all about cultivating that energy and being in tune with that energy and balancing that energy within oneself. Now, this is done many ways. It's done through meditation, it's done through tantric techniques, it's done through yoga, it's done through manipulation or moving of the energy. It's done through Qigong, it's done through Tai Chi. And it's the male and female also, which is in each one of us, okay, and in the universe and in everything. So that's the way it's categorized. If you go to any Chinese philosophical school or medicine school or anything, they discuss it in those terms. They discuss it in male, female, dark, light, black, white, and within the yin yang ball, which we've all seen, the fish eating its tail, darkness on one side, light on the other, with a spot of darkness in the light and a spot of light in the darkness. This ball is continually rotating around and around and around, the fish eating its tail. That's why things change, and I was talking about yesterday in my video, I was talking about how things intensify in the universe and then how they back off, and then how they intensify and then how they back off. Well, that's, I need to remind myself that that's the natural order of things. That's the way things happen. Now, this intensifying and this backing off and intensifying and backing off in itself intensifies. In other words, that whole process intensifies to the point of where yin flips to yang or yang flips to yin. In other words, the fish eats its tail and then is reborn again. Okay. Try to bear with me here. And so we can do all the searching we want, and we can do all the digging deep into things and learning all about whatever we want to learn about, all the things in the world, the Illuminati, the Masons, the Madame Blavatsky, all the things that we think we need to learn about ourselves and to, discover our, have a self-discovery, gain knowledge, learn this, learn that. And that's all good. It's all perfect. It's all something I've done and something a lot of people do. But the point I'm trying to make here is that when you boil all the essence of that down, it doesn't mean shit. As far as philosophies and conspiracies and who's doing this and who's doing what, it doesn't mean shit, except that it all comes out in the wash as yin and yang. energy. I know that sounds overly simplified, but it's not really. It's rather complex, but it seems simple. Now, we all have the ability to tap into this energy, okay, and to use it and to be aware of it within ourselves. Like I said, there's the yin and yang, the male and female. And I've often talked about how men could never understand women unless they're in touch with that yin side, and women could never understand men unless they're in touch with that yang side. It's called balance, is what it's called. And so that's what we strive for, excuse me, in this world, is balance. And that's why people that are tuned in, people that are trying to achieve this balance or maintain that balance in their life, it's almost like a constant battle, because this balance is not something that we see reflected in the outer. We can balance our inner, but it's not something we see others reflecting balance. Now, sometimes I wonder, we have this chaotic yin and yang energy going around in the universe, and it's going to affect all on the planet, okay? And so sometimes when we see chaotic conditions in the world, well, that's what it is. It's energy. It's all about energy. And I really want to drive the point home here that this energy can be cultivated within yourself and balanced within yourself. And that's the main thing that we need to do here. It's Shiva Shakti, and the Hindus call it Shiva Shakti. And it's two halves, dark and light. It's the God, goddess, that type of thing. Now, some of these people out in the world, these government people and the people that seem crazy and nuts, are very confused about this energy thing. And they tap into different forms of this energy, and they don't realize the strength of it. Now, when you do Kundalini yoga or you do Kriya yoga and you run this energy up and down your spine, the serpent energy that weaves its way up opens your crown chakra, opens your third eye, opens your throat chakra, opens your heart chakra, opens your navel chakra, your solar plexus, your base sexual chakra. When this energy moves up and down your spine through meditation, and when you get to the degree of circulation of the microcosmic orbit, is the Chinese term for it. The Hindu is Kriya or Kundalini yoga. When this process begins in an individual, when you get into it, it almost takes on a life of its own, and you go through karmic changes, and you go through evolutionary changes. So when you meet somebody else that has this same process going within themselves, then you become it's like a magnet, okay? It's like a circular energy thing between you and that person. Now, these people out here in the government that are plodding along day to day, most of them are not spiritual. They're not tuned into this. They don't have a clue about it. They're way back on the evolutionary scale, or the scale of burning off karma is not something that happens to them quickly. It's a slow they're dull. It's a dull energy. There's a quickening of the energy, and then there's a dull energy. And these people are caught up in creating their own chaos within the duality. Okay, and the duality is, again, it's the yin and yang. So they're creating their own chaotic energy. And that's something we can do too. we have complete control over that yin and yang, and we can create chaos with it if we want to. And sometimes we create it in our own lives. The point is that we don't want it to be so chaotic. We want it to mellow down, and we want it to flow, and we want to go through changes in a flowing manner. Okay? This isn't happening in the world. This is not happening in the world. What's happening right now is it's in a high-pitched frequency. It's almost like listening to a loud noise or a loud screech. Okay, it's the volume on it can be attenuated or controlled. Okay, the volume on this energy can be controlled, and you can tune it way up or tune it way down, or you can, tune it to the yin or tune it to the yang. Okay, just like on a radio dial. Now, these people that we have to live with in this situation that we call the world. Okay, I like to use the world as opposed to the planet or the earth. The world is a world of thought. It's a world of energy within the cosmos. Okay, so you have a mini cosmos or a mini world or a mini manifestation within a larger cosmetic flow. So we as shamans, or we as enlightened ones, or we who pursue that course, tend to feel all these flows. And it changes our frequency, and we can lower our frequency, and we can talk about events of the world, or we can raise our frequency to a higher level and talk about the things I'm talking about right now. And many of you watch me and you watch my videos, and you know that I've talked about this before, where I will raise and lower my frequency, and I tend to be on a higher frequency sometimes in the morning, like now. And these thoughts come to my head, and so I want to just expound upon them and relay them to you so that you'll understand more about what's going on in the universe and why we're in the situation we're in, and why these tape loops that I talked about yesterday keep running and running and running over and over and over again. It's because these people that are unconscious perpetuate these same tape loops over and over and over again. And those of us who are conscious see the tape loops, and it becomes unbearable. It becomes stagnant. And the Chinese I Ching speaks of stagnation many times, and it speaks of standing still, not going forward, just kind of spinning your wheels over and over and over again in the same thing. Might inch forward a little. But then there's the grand cosmos, or the grand flow of the cosmetic flow of the universe, that has a mind of its own and is going to go on anyway, no matter what man taps into or what he doesn't tap into. So we have these different forces working here. We have man as a manifester or creator. The Bible says, given the free will to create through this evolutionary process of circulating the energy. Okay. Now, if you're not aware of this energy, dark energy can take you over. It can influence you. Like we see with the warmongers and neocons, and to put it into a worldly perspective, when we see that happening with them, we realize that they're kind of on autopilot. They're letting any energy overtake them or permeate them or take control. Sometimes they'll let the dark take control. And they're never in balance. It's never in balance. It's always back and forth real quick. So you got to look at the energy of things. This is what I'm saying here, is what my point is. And you got to look at that within yourself too. And sometimes you have to let go of all these concepts and all these things you've learned and all the past and all your what you think the future may bring, and you have to be in the moment, okay, and and balancing this energy. And that's the most important thing, is being in the moment and balancing that energy and hooking up with other people that are doing the same thing. We can really get sidetracked on issues, okay? We can really get sidetracked on issues. We can get sidetracked on our own issues. We can get sidetracked on issues of the world. We can get sidetracked on, other people's issues. We can get sidetracked on issues from our past. We can get sidetracked on what our issues might be for the future. And we can get sidetracked on what other people's conception of the universe and those issues and those philosophies and those theories. But Thunder's here to tell you that you got to boil it down to this fine frequency of energy. Energy. And realizing that you have that energy within you, okay? And it circulates within and without, within and without. As above, so below. As within, so without. And as without, if you hook into that, some of the chaotic energy out there, so it will become within, okay? So it's a fine balance all the way around of manipulation or control of or awareness of this yin-yang energy. Now, this energy is called different things in different traditions. In Hindu, it's called prana, okay? It's called prana. And this is what circulates around your body, okay? And in China or Chinese philosophy, it's called qi, okay? That's why, like, practices of qi, gong, or tai chi are very beneficial to you because it balances this energy. And that's why yoga or union with the cosmos, union with mind, body, spirit, body, is so important. And do any of these people that I talk about, these neocons and these government people and any of those people, how many of them are into this stuff? How many of them even know about it? Well, probably not many. So what are we dealing with here then? We're dealing with people that have no concept of the energy and how it affects the universe. Now, there's scientists on their staff and all that stuff that probably understand this stuff. But to me, they're either going to go dark or light. They're either going to use it for good or evil. And when they use it for evil, then it purposely is creating an imbalance. Okay, because they're just concentrating on one side of it, the yin side of it. And they're perpetuating that. Now, bear with me here. I know all this stuff is kind of like, might be above your head or comprehension or whatever, but if you watch the video enough, you'll get the drift of it. You can tuck it away and rewind it and do whatever you want to do and look at it. Now, this energy, again, I want to emphasize, is something that we interact with people on all kinds of levels, and there's no the space-time continuum is involved in this, in that there is no space, there is no time, and there is no distance. We can hook up with somebody around the world, or across the street, or just by talking on the phone, okay? And we can see with our third eye. We can have remote viewing as we're talking to these people. And it's so important for us to hook up with people that are on our wavelength, our frequency right now, because this is something that will be beneficial to mankind and beneficial to yourself. Where two or more are gathered in the name of this, okay, that's a metaphor for Christ consciousness, because when you raise the Kundalini up and you pierce the chakras, you become Christ conscious. You become compassionate, you become loving, you become aware of what's going on in the universe. And you become centered, okay, not self-centered, but centered as far as balance goes. And you're able to project that energy. You're able to project it and receive it on these higher frequencies. And so if somebody's not on that higher frequency, boom, you can determine that right away by seeing it, by talking to them, by feeling their energy. And so if you're on a spiritual quest right now, if you're on a spiritual quest where you're searching and you're digging deep, and let's say you're looking into the Bible, you're looking into, the Bhagavad Gita, you're looking into the Tao Te Ching, you're looking into theories, you're looking into all these, holographic universes, and there's just a million things out there that you can be looking into. But it's all about energy. That's what it boils down to. I don't care what philosophy or what conspiracy or what ideology or what spirituality that you're looking into. It's all about energy. And it is simple. It's simple in a sense, because it's either good energy or it's bad energy, okay? And bad is subjective, again, because we got the yin and yang, okay? So the yin isn't necessarily bad, but sometimes it's considered bad, okay? If it's not in balance with the yang, okay? It can be bad. Even yang can be bad if it's not in balance with the yin. Things can be too yang, too hyper, too intense, too intense. Whereas yin, the receptive, the feminine, is sometimes more relaxed and more flowing. So if you look at a particular philosophy, okay, and it's, let's say, a dark philosophy. Many people think that, let's say, the Masonic people are dark, or the Illuminati's dark. Well, that's because it's a preponderance of that energy, and that's what they're concentrating on. It's a preponderance of yin, okay? If it seems dark, it's a preponderance of yin. If it seems light, now let's apply this to the things that happen in our everyday life, experiences that we go through or have gone through, okay, have all been about, if we had a bad experience with somebody in our life, okay, if we were mistreated as a child, if we were mistreated somewhere along the line in our life by another person, that was an energy situation. An energy situation that we can either carry that energy around with us, or we can diffuse it. Okay? We can diffuse it. We can neutralize it by being aware of our energy patterns and how we think, and how this energy affects our thoughts, and how our thoughts affects our energy. The best thing to do is to neutralize it and to just cut it loose. Look at it for what it is. It was energy. We went through a particular energy process at that time. Okay? It would be like tuning into the past on a radio, being able to tune into a frequency that's already gone, okay? Like a time machine. You tune into a frequency that's already gone. Why would you want to do that unless you wanted to neutralize it or purify it, okay? So that's the only reason we would do that, or to let go of it. Once we realize what that frequency, what that energy, what that pattern was, we have the conscious ability and the spiritual ability and even the super conscious ability to let go of that, to let go of it. Sometimes we feel like we have to work through things, that we have to work through it. We have to dig deeper into it and try to find out all the nuances of it. Let's take a case like, say you were sexually molested, okay, as a child. Now you can go round and round and round about the whys and wherefores and how come this and how come that, but if you just look at it as you were an energy pattern and another energy pattern came in and imbalanced you, okay, or used your energy against you. That's what I'm saying here. You just look at it as an energy situation, because really, aren't we just all energy? We're just all energy, okay? And so our thoughts are energy too, and who we think we are is a certain energy pattern too. Okay, that's why you can shapeshift. That's why shamans and people in the native tradition talk about shapeshifting. Okay, and even yogis talk about shapeshifting. Because you can shapeshift right back into that situation you were in and be that person again and experience the pain, or you can shapeshift right out of that and morph right out of it, okay, into a advanced person or being that learned from that situation and realized that it doesn't have anything to do with your pure essence or pure spirit or pure energy. The only thing that it has to do with is you swimming through this tide of chaotic energy in the form of people, places, things, religions, blah, 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 blah. I could go on and on and on. I hope you can grasp some of this stuff, because I'm not always in this state of mind. I'm not always in this consciousness, because my frequency lowers and raises at different times. So I might, a half an hour from now, I might look at this video and go, wow, did I say that? I need to listen to that. Because spirit just comes through me and out of my mouth, and there's nuggets of gold wisdom here. But it's not really me, it's that energy that is flowing through me that I am allowing to flow through me. And it needs to use my lips or my voice to say something to you. And the reason that I felt that I needed to do this is because I do dwell on a lower frequency, and I do talk about world situations, and I do talk about chaos, and I do talk about tape loops, and I do talk about all these different things that are true, but sometimes I become emotionally charged, okay, because I let that energy, that pervasive energy, that negative energy, that chaotic energy affect my energy. So I become charged. This is what the energy thing is all about, is discharging negative energy. You're discharging that energy just like you would hook a ground up to a radio so that you won't get electrocuted. Okay. And you won't become overwhelmed with all the shit that's going on in the universe, okay? And all the shit that's going on, that's surrounding us and is so pervasive, day after day after day, this tape loop. We have to realize that this is a chaotic energy that is going to resolve itself when it flips from yin to yang or from yang to yin. Okay? And this is inevitable because we see it time and time again in our world. So when people talk about, oh, when's it going to come, or when is it going to finally flip, or when is something going to manifest that gives us peace of mind, like I was talking about yesterday, it comes in waves. It comes in waves. It comes in the yin and yang continually rotating, and whoop, it'll come out in the yin, and then in the yang, and then whoop, and then it's just like continual rotating, and then it's change, but it's still staying the same in the aspect of it's still spinning around and around and around, okay, and it's manifesting the Tao Te Ching says a myriad of things, 10,000 things, in our life. And so that's why you often hear that term, go with the flow, because these things that are being manifested can't be fought because they're energy. You can meld your energy, you can make your energy weave in with it and go with the flow of it so that you're not overcome and overwhelmed by it. Get my drift here? And it's hard to do that sometimes because we don't understand. We try to put everything on a philosophical level, or we try to put everything on a intellectual level, or we try to put everything on a feeling level. Okay. Now that's why thunder gets intense sometimes, because I am able to tune in and feel quite perceptively and quite distinctly what's going on in the universe as I see events happening, as I see events coming forth, being born out of this myriad of 10,000 things. And so that's why my frequency changes sometimes, but I always try to stay on that track of truth, okay? And if you look at previous videos, I even, like, after I lower my frequency, I will super elevate my frequency and do a video like this, as opposed to just talking about the BS of the world and how stagnant it is and how atrocious it is. Again, it's a play of light on a screen, and all this light is energy, and all that energy is yin and yang. Energy, yin, yang, right and wrong, good and bad, evil, and that's what it is. It's a soup. It's a big cauldron. It's a boiling cauldron of soup. So once we elevate once through meditation, through spiritual practices, we elevate our energy up, we see everything for what it is, and it doesn't concern us as much. We get more of a Taoist attitude towards it, a non-attachment towards it. And we don't try to save the world, or we don't try to destroy the world. We let the world form around us. We let the world form around us. Okay. And we quit labeling things as good or bad. We just see the duality within it all. We see the duality. Okay. And that's a nice place to be. That way we can open up to others with no fear, like when we hook up with a kindred soul, be it a man or a woman. When we hook up with them, we see their energy, we go beyond who they appear to be, and we just feel their energy, and we can tell whether it's chaotic or whether it's divided into a million different sections, or if it's going one way or going the other, if it's sporadic, if it's not cohesive and in balance. And so we will either, by our association with that person or energy, we will either affect a balance, okay, within them, because of our evolutionary process, might be advanced. I hate to use that word advanced, or might be, we're all a work in progress, and our progress might be a little bit further than somebody else's progress that they can realize. Okay. So when we hook up with somebody else, whether it's a mate or a boyfriend or girlfriend or just a friend or whatever, or dealing with anybody, you know, we when we're on that energy level, when we're in tune to that energy, then we realize where their energy's at, okay? And no matter what comes out of their mouth, okay, whether they're spewing a million things or just saying a few words, might be an indication to us that they're going through a certain evolutionary process, and that's where they are in that energy field. That's where they are on that frequency. That's where they are on whatever chakra they're on. They're either on their throat chakra or their third eye or their crown, or their base chakra, which is totally sexual and totally. But you need that too, because it's a grounding influence, okay? Nothing is bad. Nothing is really bad. It's just either in balance or out of balance. And what we see in the world right now is out of balance, okay? For the most part. So those of us that try to walk that path, the red road of balance, and try to communicate with others and try to hook up with others so that where two or more are gathered, that spirit will be, that spirit of cohesiveness, that spirit of balance, that spirit of being able to manifest things beyond whatever anybody could even imagine, good things, positive things. That's what it's all about, okay? This is what it's all about. So, yeah, I've rambled on here. I just let spirit flow through me, and sometimes I feel like I need to just sit down and let it use my voice and my being and my energy, as shamans often do, okay, and yogis and anybody that's on a high spiritual level will do. I'll just throw out a bunch of stuff, and again, it's not me, but a bunch of stuff will be thrown out to you through me, and it's a rare moment. So what you should do is just take it for what it's worth and listen to some of the things I'm saying and try to make sense of it, without judgment, okay? So I'll leave it there today. I think I've talked enough about the yin and yang and the energy and what I think I needed to say today. I always like to follow up a video that I lower my frequency on with a video that maybe I elevate my frequency on. In other words, there's the spiritual and the physical and the mundane and the not so mundane, and but it's all good. It's the yin and yang, right? So some days thunder's yin, some days he's yang, some days he's balanced with the yin and yang, some days he's totally tuned into the frequency of the higher source. And it's good to see all sides, right? So I'll leave it there. Blessings to you all, and let's hope that things balance out on the energy level in this this world, or this journey that we're on. Take care. Blessings. Over and out.